Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batrocitus. This is from Dark Knight's Metal. This is essentially a cross between Batman and Atrocitus, the Red Lantern. Another evil Batman to add to the collection, and he should look good and fit in really nice. I got this figure from the McFarlane toy store. I had pre-ordered it, and it shipped, and it's finally here. So let's go and check out the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Batrocitus. Here he is in the package. He has two alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, and then he has his lantern. There's also a display stand and collector's card. One side of the package, Batrocitus from Dark Knight's Death Metal. Other side, Batrocitus. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case it helps anybody. And on the back side, here he is posed up, looking pretty mean and intimidating. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And I did end up getting 2 of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, and the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. So I got 2 sets of the bundle from the McFarlane toy store. Now, the one drawback to ordering from McFarlane is you don't have to pay shipping, but you get the figures a little bit earlier. If you order from somewhere else, like Amazon or Big Bad Toy Store, you can potentially get free shipping. I got these guys in the bundle, so there was a little discount there. I had a coupon code, a little more discount there. And honestly, the final price here was still a little bit less than retail, even including their shipping. So, from that point of view, worked out pretty good. Alright. Now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does come with a display stand and a collector's card, 2 alternate hands, and then a red lantern to recharge his power ring. But before we take a look at the accessories, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Batrocitus, a hybrid of Atrocitus and Batman. It's part of the whole Dark Knight's Metal evil Batman thing. He works for the Batman Who Laughs. He was only in 1 issue, and in that issue, he ended up getting killed by Jonah Hex. So let's take a look at him. He kind of makes me think of a gorilla. It's because he's all black. His face is grotesque. Kind of makes me think of Batman when you see him under Scarecrow's fear toxin. He's got actual ears there, some red lines below there. His mouth is open, teeth exposed. Don't want to mess with this guy. Red eyes, all black skin. Going further down, he has sort of a Red Lantern costume, but the symbol here is not the Red Lantern symbol. It looks kind of like a bat. I'm probably going to make him a member of the Red Lantern's Corps. Member number 2, at least for me. Traditional armor, the suit is textured underneath. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. Looks like double ball joints in his torso area. Good looking figure. He is normal size, so a lot smaller than the collector-build Atrocitus. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. I wanted to take a look at Batrocitus' power ring. It's on his middle finger. Always nice to see when they include little details like that. And then, here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's take a look at his accessories, and let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane stand, black perfect circle. It says DC on the bottom. It's got 1 peg for the peg holes on their feet. Very thin, very basic. Now let's look at his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the figure Batrocitus. Batrocitus from Dark Knight's Death Metal. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Now let's look at his hands. He has a total of 4 of them. 2 pair. 1 pair of fisted hands, and 1 pair of open, possibly gripping hands. Notice on his open hands, you can see he's got long fingernails or claws. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here he is with both of his open hands. Looks like they could probably grip something large. Now let's look at his lantern. It's casted in a semi-transparent red material, which is kind of odd. I feel like McFarlane thinks these lanterns are constructs, but they're not. They're actual physical lanterns they use to recharge the power rings. Here's his red lantern, next to a black lantern on the left, and 2 green lanterns on the right. These are all the lanterns McFarlane has provided for us so far. Here's Batrocitus holding his lantern, and here's Batrocitus charging his power ring. Now they've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories. Now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's standing at about 6.9 inches tall, which can translate to about 17.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up about that far, down about that far. Not too bad. Shoulders on a ball joint goes out a good 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, increasing the range of motion and covering up that gap. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows, a little bit obstructed with the glove. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Ball joint his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another ball joint his waist, rotate around, forward and back, giving him pretty good range of motion here. Not too much out his waist. His legs, pretty much completely does the splits. Not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. Rotation is non-existent. They go forward about that much. Back, not much at all. Double jointed knees. Then his ankle here, forward and back. Rotate, tilt, rock, and to articulation. Here's an image of Atrocitus. He's got Hal Jordan. He's spitting what appears to be blood into him. Now, these red lanterns, they do have normal constructs, but it seems like most of the time they're using constructs that look like blood. And here's Batrocitus doing the same thing, spitting his blood-like construct into a beaten and bloody Hal Jordan's mouth. Here's a cool shot of Atrocitus with Batrocitus in front of him. Say that 10 times fast. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the Speeding Bullets Batman. These 2 figures arrived in a bundle from the McFarlane toy store today. And here he is, next to Atrocitus. Atrocitus is considerably larger than Batrocitus. I find that a little bit odd. It is supposed to be a hybrid between the two, but I feel like he's smaller than your average Batman figure. These are the only 2 Red Lantern figures that I have. I guess I'm starting to build my core. If you put these 2 things together, Batman and Atrocitus, you get Batrocitus. Here he is, next to the Batman Who Laughs. Batrocitus worked for him. Here he is, next to the original Dark Knight's Metal Evil Batman team. Let's add in a few more, and we have the Dark Knight's Metal Evil Batman extended family. Oh, and let's not forget, you have to add in the Batmobeast. There's another evil Batman's brain trapped inside that vehicle. Now let's check him out, next to some other Batman figures. Here he is, with several different Batman figures, all based off the comics. He's just not very big. For a combination of Batman and Atrocitus, he should be larger. He shouldn't be smaller than Batman. He looks to be about on par with the smaller end of the Batman figures, such as the White Knight Batman. Then, next to some more Batman figures, these are also from the comics. He's about the size of the Rebirth or Page Puncher Batman. I wish he was bigger, like the Hush or Three Jokers Batman. And here he is, next to some more Batman figures. These are from different various forms of media. Now let's check them out, next to some other Lantern figures. Atrocitus and Batrocitus are the only Red Lantern figures they've made. Here he is, with all the Green Lanterns, at least each of the different characters. Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and Kyle Rayner. And of course, they receive plenty of variants. And then, next to all the McFarlane Black Lantern figures I have, Batman, Deathstorm, and a Superman. I also have some Yellow Lantern figures, but not the ones you'd normally think of. Scarecrow, Batman, and the Predator. Now let's check him out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the two newest Mega figures, Necron and Bane. Here's Batrocitus, next to the Blue Beetle and Booster Gold 2-pack. And here he is, next to the Walmart exclusive Gold Label Azrael Batman armor and Parallax Hal Jordan. Then, next to the Court of Owl's Talon and the Infinite Frontier Scarecrow. Here's Batrocitus, next to the Future State Superman and the New 52 Static Shock. And here he is, next to the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Gold Label paint variants of the Arkham Knight Scarecrow and Red Hood. Then, next to the first wave of Page Punchers, Batman, Black Adam, John Constantine, and Superman. Still trying to track down the black and white variant of Black Adam. And now, with the Black Adam movie wave. Here's Batrocitus, next to the Blackest Night wave, collector build Atrocitus, the character he's based off of. And here he is, next to Martian Manhunter, both classic and rebirth. Then, next to the Target exclusive Crime Syndicate, Ultraman, Superwoman, and Owlman. Here's Batrocitus, next to both versions of the Future State Dark Detective Batman. And here he is, next to all three versions of Lex Luthor in his power suit. Then, next to Duke Thomas from Tales of the Dark Multiverse, and the Batman Who Laughs, dressed as Batman. And finally, here he is, next to both versions of the Zernar Batman, and all three variations of the Infinite Frontier Robin. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so you can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, with some more McFarlane Toys, these are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST, or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, standing next to some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, with some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a nice figure, but I feel like he should be bigger. Atrocitus is a giant figure, very well done. I mean, this figure is well done for what it is, but I just see more of a generic Red Lantern Corps member. I think this guy's an easy pass. You will need him if you're like me and you get all the multiverse figures, if you get all the Batman related stuff, if you get all the Green Lantern related stuff, if you just want him to fit in with your Dark Knight's Metal team. That's what the best use for this guy. He's pretty cool with the Batman Who Laughs and all those evil Batmen. Another one to the ranks there. That's the main reason one would want to get this guy. Beyond that, I'd say he's an easy pass, unless you want to add him to your Red Lantern Corps. That being said, I may be being a little bit too hard on the figure. I mean, it looks good. It looks kind of scary. His articulation is everything you'd expect from a McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. Accessories are okay, some extra hands, Red Lantern. If I were to rate this figure, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Maybe the actual figure deserves more than that, but my enjoyment of him is kind of low. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.